Welcome to our 2024 season of the Cloud Industry Forum Presents TWF show. We're speaking to you from our mixed reality newsroom style set courtesy of our friends here at Disruptive Live. This is our weekly video podcast where we interview a guest from our members or one of our partners or someone with something interesting to say about cloud technology or transformation or artificial intelligence or what's coming next. I'm David Terrar. I'm the CEO of the Cloud Industry Forum, which is a not-for-profit trade body that champions and helps accelerate the adoption of cloud technology and services. If you want to find out more about us, we're at cloudindustryforum.org. I'm at DT on X, David_Terrar on Threads and Instagram, and you can find me on LinkedIn very easily. Today, I want to give you my take on the metaverse and then introduce our expert guest on the topic from our partner, Disruptive Live, along with the exciting new product that they're just launching. Now, a year ago, I put together a presentation and a blog post titled, "Is 2023 the year to get real with the metaverse?" But 2023, as we all know, became the year where our bandwidth for newsworthy tech was taken up almost exclusively by the explosion of generative AI. A topic that had been around for a while, but suddenly got democratized for all of us with a chatbot interface so that anybody can ask it questions and watch it generate content. And most of us have tried it and seen how valuable it is for us and our customers. Now, a year ago in that presentation, I started with 3 quotes. "Metaverse isn't a thing a company builds, it's the next chapter of the internet overall." That was Mark Zuckerberg of Meta. In simplest terms, the metaverse is the internet, but in 3D. That was Ed Gregg, who's chief disruptor with Deloitte. And then lastly, the metaverse is here, and it's not only transformed how we see the world, but how we participate in it, from the factory floor to the meeting room. And that was Satya Nadella of Microsoft. So that's industry heavyweights kind of setting the scene and putting serious commitment and investment into the metaverse. Now, it's my belief that the rapid adoption of AI combines with the opportunity of the metaverse, multiverse is completely different, with the opportunity of the metaverse added to other technologies like the IoT and edge computing and the like, and that's going to usher in the start of a new 3D interactive and immersive phase of the internet. Now, why should you care about that? McKinsey suggests that it could create up to $5 trillion in value by 2030, with half of that impact coming in e-commerce. Mark Zuckerberg renamed his universe to suit it and is investing billions. Microsoft have finally acquired Activision Blizzard, eventually for $75.4 billion, to provide building blocks for the metaverse. You've seen Apple coming up with their Apple Vision Pro headset, and the Meta Quest 3 headsets come out. We'll get into the pros and cons of those devices later. But where does this metaverse term come from? Actually, it's from science fiction. William Gibson coined the term cyberspace, a kind of virtual world, in a short story, and then his first novel, Neuromancer, in 1984. But the metaverse term itself was coined by Neil Stephenson in his 1992 science fiction novel, Snow Crash. He imagined the internet as a single, universal and immersive virtual world. Now, you've seen movies like that, but now you can step into it. So let's explore this with our expert guide, Dr Josh Stanton of Disruptive Live and Spaces Metaverse. Josh, I'm delighted to welcome you to the show. Please, can you introduce yourself, your company and what you do?
Thanks. Really great to be here. I'm Dr. Joshua Stanton, and I work for Disruptive Live as head of technical art and XR, where I produce metaverses and animations and virtual experiences.
Excellent. Tell us a bit about your background and what brought you to what you're doing now.
Yeah, so I did my PhD at Glasgow School of Art as an interdisciplinary practice-based PhD on virtual reality art, spanning across the schools of fine art and the School of Simulation and Visualization, which specializes in game design, serious games, medical visualization and things like that. So yes, in that time I learned to produce virtual reality experiences and explored the possibilities of the technology and produced a thesis, which I am now publishing as a book called Virtual Reality as a New Tool in Painting the Fourth Dimension, who I'm publishing next year with Palgrave Macmillan as a part of Springer Nature. So yes, I've also produced my own virtual reality experiences, which I publish on Steam. And so that's my background. Yeah.
That sounds great, Josh. Now, I've read a University of Cambridge policy document by Sam Gilbert where he suggests the metaverse doesn't exist yet. Now, I'm guessing you don't agree with that, so explain.
Yeah, so I would respectfully disagree with that. I believe, obviously, this is a word, so we decide how we define words, and people interpret them differently. So, that's one way of looking at it. But personally, I find it more fruitful to have a broader view of what things can be, which allows them to develop into different things that, if you put those strict boundaries on them, that they might not. So, yes, I view metaverse as any type of virtual experience, any type of virtual space, essentially a virtual world. And in my PhD thesis, I was looking at the philosopher Deleuze and his ideas of the virtual. And although he was talking about the virtual as a space in your mind that you enter, I really see the parallels as virtual. As the metaverse, as the virtual spaces which we create. And I understand that there's various criticisms levied against that, and people say the metaverse is dead. But I would also like to quote someone of note, Tim Sweeney, the CEO of Epic, who said, "Metaverses are not dead. There's 600 million monthly users in ours, which is Fortnite." So I think that Fortnite and these online spaces, these virtual spaces we create, are the current manifestation of the metaverse, and it's very alive and well and growing.
Makes sense, makes sense. Now, most people I'm seeing, and you mentioned this a little, that are creating metaverse-like experiences are doing them on particular gaming platforms like Roblox or Decentraland or Fortnite that you mentioned. But you're doing things differently, so can you explain, please?
Yeah, sure. So, although those are very interesting things and definitely worth exploring, we want to try and bring the metaverse to people who don't necessarily have the VR technology or the headsets, or maybe they're from a different generation, which is less accustomed to these things or able to sort of quickly pick them up. So we want to try and democratize the metaverse and bring it to everybody. So we feel a way to do that is to develop on an open web platform, which allows the metaverse to be served through a web browser and create the experience in a way that there's different ways of engaging with it and navigating the space, which might be easier for people with less technical ability or experience. So it's available to people from all different levels of experience and with different levels of access to technology.
Great stuff. So that's kind of the key to that is being all about open standards and portability.
Yeah, exactly. That this, as we see it, is a pathway to the XR revolution, which is definitely coming. We can see tens of millions of MetaQuest headsets have been sold, and there is clearly an increasing market for this. And with Apple's step into the market as a leader in technology, as we can see how they brought the smartphone to the masses, although it took some time to fully take effect. They were able to do that. So I feel that they can do a similar thing with VR and AR, MR, the extended reality technology to bring this to a wide platform and many different types of people.
Got it. Now, I'm working on the preliminary findings from this year's Cloud Industry Forum Market Research Report. We've got the data and we're just working on the report. But one of the things in there, it looks like there's less appetite to invest in the metaverse versus cloud and AI and edge and IoT and other emerging tech. But I suspect that's partly to do with the friction of those VR headsets that you were just talking about. But you've also already said your approach is a bit different. Can you explain?
Yeah, so I would agree with you that the technology is still in its infancy, although it is progressing very quickly. And like all technological progression, it is an exponential curve, so it will get quicker. But yes, we are currently in this early phases where it's still clunky and heavy and expensive and not always easy for everyone to gain access to or aware of. So yes, I feel the open standards of the web and the web interface, which is something we're all accustomed to, and everybody of all different ages generally can use or do already use. And so using that platform is something familiar to people, and also not needing them to do anything on their side. They just log into a web page and then they're into the metaverse. So it's a very low bar for entry. And if we're creating these interactive interfaces which allow for different methods of navigating the space, then we can try and allow for the different levels of knowledge or familiarity that people might have with navigating a 3D virtual space.
Excellent. So, I mean, access through the browser on my phone or my iPad or my laptop sounds great to me. But I suppose, though, that the actual headsets are going to evolve pretty quickly, though, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. They've already come a long way in the nearly decade that I've been working with them. But in the last few years, we've seen this massive increase in the technology, with the AR now being something which is actually usable. The Meta Quest 3 and the Apple Vision Pro both have usable pass-through, which is the first time it's been seen. The previous generation to that, it was looking through a bad phone camera. It was the experience, which is very undesirable. So now that we actually have working augmented reality, I think that we'll see a very quick, as that becomes lighter, easy to wear, cheaper, all those things that it needs to be. I think you will see adoption, just like you've seen with smartphones and television. That this is the next step.
Sounds good. Now, you've already mentioned some of the acronyms like virtual reality and augmented reality, and I rather like Apple's take on it, mixed reality. But it sounds like you kind of focus in on extended reality to explain this. Is that the way you see it?
Yeah, I feel extended reality is a good all-encompassing term which allows for all of the different blends of AR, VR, MR, and any other ones which come along to be underneath that umbrella. So just to view it as one extended reality. Personally, I'm very partial to virtual reality, as that's something that I really enjoy and I use on a daily basis, and I use my work. I play games, and I've been using, like I say, for nearly a decade now. So I love VR, but I also love AR and any other realities that we can cook up. So I think they're all great, and they all have different use cases. And the XR is a way to sort of bring that under one umbrella. And I know there is a kind of a camp thing happening where some people going the AR route, some VR. I think that it doesn't need to be like that. It's not that one's better or worse; they're just different, and they have different applications and different benefits and uses.
Now, I know you're just launching Spaces Metaverse, is what you're calling the platform. Can you show us an example of the kind of experiences you're creating for your customers?
Sure. So let me show you one of the metaverses we've been working on. So here you can see an island that we've created, which is based on two clients and their logos, and as a way to promote an event they're having on social media. So as you can see, you transition through the scene to these different points. You can interact with the different videos at each point, and then there's a final place that you go up at the end there, and then you can get other interactive things like PDF and QR codes and links. So we feel this is a really good example of a metaverse for business application, which can be served through an open standard of a web interface.
That all looks fantastic. What other kind of use cases are you working on?
So we have a variety of metaverse use cases which we're developing. Some of them based in creating a digital twin of an existing building and placing within it the product from a client, showing how they work in situ and in an interactive experience which explains the thing in place, and somebody can experience it as if they were there and see how it works and have that as an engaging, interactive and memorable experience, rather than something which could be more abstract or dry if it's just a traditional web interface they're reading document information from. Or a video which is not interactive. So we feel like that gives another level to that kind of experience. There's also the showing the using it as a platform for people to have events on. You have obviously the kind of seminars and these webinar events, which sort of sprung out of the pandemic, but are now something are here to stay and something people enjoy. So there's these virtual platforms, and then there's also limited time events like we're currently doing for one of our clients, where they have this limited time social media based campaign, and we built a metaverse around that. So there's lots of different use cases, and even on a call today, they were discussing using this as internal training, which is something that I've seen a lot of in my work with VR. Is it used as training for people? So I think there's lots of use cases, both internal and external, for businesses.
What's the most exciting thing about all of this for you?
Most exciting thing is this is brand new technology that is on the bleeding edge of what's possible as humans, and it's creating a whole new universe that is completely created by us as humans, which I think is amazing. And being able to step into a virtual space, these virtual spaces are ones that I have inhabited ever since I was born, playing games on my Super Nintendo in the 90s, and now I'm here, creating VR. So I feel like this virtual space is something which is very close to my heart, and is great to see becoming more mainstream and somewhere that we can all take part in, and it connects people. It connects people around the world, and with interests and creates communities. So yeah, I'm really excited about the technology and the possibilities of it.
Excellent. Now, you're just launching the product. Is there anything you can tell us about what your roadmap is and what's coming next?
Yeah, so obviously we launched Spaces Metaverse, and there's current clients that we're creating these for, and we continue to progress with the web-based metaverses, and then looking to the future where this can be developed for other platforms, including the Apple and other VR, AR, MR, XR headsets, and changing as that evolves, because I think as these headsets become more ingrained in our everyday lives, then these sort of metaverses will become integral to the experience, and we will have to develop new ways of interacting with these spaces and working out how they can make our lives easier and connect us with people which otherwise we might not be connected with.
Excellent. Now, that has been fantastically eye-opening. Where can our audience find out more about you and more about Spaces Metaverse?
Yeah, so I've got my book coming out next year. So yeah, if you see that coming out next year, that'd be great. If you're interested in VR art, check it out. It's with Palgrave Macmillan, and with my work with Disruptive, we have multiple current metaverses in production, which will be launching very soon, and our Spaces Metaverse website, which will host other portals to client-based metaverses. So yeah, if you're interested in that, then check out Spaces Metaverse.
So that's kind of spacesmetaverse.com, yeah?
That's what I believe, yes.
Awesome. Well, Josh, that's been really exciting to hear what you're doing. Huge thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate the chance to chat about it, and look forward to the future with more interest in metaverse always growing.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that update on the metaverse and how Dr. Josh Stanton is creating it. We'll be back live next Wednesday at 14:30 UK time, 2:30 UK time. We want your feedback, your suggestions. Maybe you want to be a guest on the show. Please put something in the comments here on LinkedIn, or email us at info@cloudindustryforum.org. We look forward to hearing from you, and we hope to see you next week or next time. Thanks very much.